Can you print DTF transfers on parchment paper? Stay tuned to find out. If you guys seen my previous video where we tested vintage transfers from the 80s, we discovered that some of those transfers were printed on parchment paper. So this sparked a question inside of me as well as many of you guys. Can we do the DTF hack on parchment paper? Now, one of you guys had commented down below on that previous video and said you tested it and it totally worked. So I cannot wait to test it out today. Let's go over the supplies you're gonna need for today's hack. You're gonna need some parchment paper. You can get it in this white, almost transparent, if you will, as well as this craft color. When it comes to parchment paper, you can even find it in your grocery store, but I personally like to buy these from Amazon. They're pre-cut sheets. Now these are fairly large. I'll need to trim a little bit off of the edge. I did look and you can get them 8.5 by 11. You're gonna need a piece of copy paper or even just your sublimation paper. When it comes to tape, you can use craft tape, washi tape, painter's tape, as well as your heat tape. You just need tape that is gonna help hold your paper and your parchment paper together. You're gonna need some DTF transfer powder. These are the two that I highly recommend at this moment. For today's project, I'm going to be using this one right here. And like I said, all the supplies I'm using today will be linked below. I'm going to be using my Sawgrass Sublimation printer today, and I'm actually using my bigger one because I really want to try a big design for this since I had the bigger pieces of parchment. So I'm using the Sawgrass SG1000. If you guys are interested in using your inkjet printer or even your pigment inkjet printer, I have tutorials showing you guys how to do the DTF hack using those. I'll have a linked above or down below. I have a Gildan sweatshirt here, so this is a heavy blend. What's really awesome about the DTF transfers or DTF hack is you can put this on cotton garments, unlike sublimation where you need polyester or poly blend. For my heat source, I'm going to be using the Cricut Easy Press 10x12, but you can definitely accomplish this with your bigger heat presses. For today's project, we're going to be using this design right here. It is so cute. I found this over on Amazon. I seen that this thing is trending all over TikTok right now, so I thought it's very fitting. We have to use the design ourselves, right? So I will have this linked below. When it comes to printing my designs, I do like to use Canva. I just drag and drop the design in here. So as you can see, I just get it nice and centered, and then you can just simply stretch this out to get the exact size you would like. For my blank canvas size, I just set it to the 11 by 17. If, for example, you were using a smaller sublimation printer like the Sawgrass SG500, you could set your canvas to the 8.5 by 11. Now all we simply have to do is save it. We're just simply gonna hit the share button, we're gonna hit download, and then we're just gonna hit download once again. Sawgrass has recently updated their print manager. It is now called PrintMate. So if you guys have not checked that out, I'll have a video up above or down below to Sawgrass's channel because I did an entire walkthrough of their new design software as well as their new print software. If you guys are familiar with the Sawgrass smart folders, you can do the same thing. I've got my design here and I'm gonna drop it right inside of that smart folder. Now that our design has been sent over to PrintMate, we are ready to print it out. Before we hit print, let's prep up our paper. Today I'm gonna go ahead and use this white one because it's transparent and I'll be able to see through where I'm placing it on my garment. As you can see, we just have a little bit overhang. So I'm just gonna take my scissors here and trim off that excess. So I'm gonna get as close as I can without going over my paper so I can get this to go through the printer. If it cuts a little bit less, that is fine. As you can see over here in PrintMate, I have a gap on either side, so we're gonna be good to go. Today I'm gonna go ahead and use the painter's tape. So I'm just gonna tear off a size that fits my paper all the way across. You can always trim off any excess, and I'm just going to come down a little bit in the front. You don't want very much of this tape in the front side that you're printing on because you don't want it to get in the way of your design. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it over. Now I'm just going to center our paper on top of our parchment paper, and then we are just going to fold the tape over to secure it. If you ever get any weird wrinkles inside of your tape, it's fine. I've done it so many times. You could definitely just take your squeegee and rub those in. Now that we have our parchment paper taped to the paper, we're gonna load it in our printer as we normally would with this DTF hack. So we're gonna put it paper side up, taped to the back. I have sent that over to the printer. As you can hear, fingers crossed it's gonna come through. We're about to find out. So far, it sounds like it's working. So I've got my parchment paper ready to collect the powder. I'm gonna get my powder ready because this is a big design. I wanna make sure I'm ready to go. Oh my goodness, here it is. I'm gonna work very quickly because I do not want my ink to dry on me. So I'm going to get my powder on here. I'm probably gonna even do this just to make sure. Whenever it comes to these big designs, I'm not playing around. You really have to act very, very fast. So I'm just gonna coat it from one side to the next. Now that we have it coated, I'm just gonna shake off the excess and I'm gonna clean this up. Now that we have our DTF transfer on parchment paper, I cannot believe it, but the hack is not over yet. We will not know until we actually press it. I don't know if the ink dried too fast to get the powders on it or how it'll press. So let's continue on. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove any sort of lint or debris with my lint roller. And I'm gonna go ahead and pre-press my sweatshirt to pull out any sort of moisture and just smooth everything down. I'm gonna go ahead and trim off a little bit from the top. And since I did not cure the powders, I wanna be very careful. I wanna make sure when I place this down that I'm only going to put it wherever it's gonna go one time, and that's gonna be good to go. You don't really wanna move it around. If you don't cure your powders, you wanna make sure you're one and done because those powders will shift because they're loose powder. So I'm just gonna go ahead and look at that. I honestly think that's pretty good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some tape. I do believe that this iron should cover the whole thing. So I'm just gonna go right on top, making sure everything is covered. And then we're just simply gonna hit go. I have it set at 300 degrees for 20 seconds and I'm giving it some medium to firm pressure. All right, there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and lift this up and get it out of our way. So remember with this, unless it says it's a hot pill, this is a cold pill. You always want to pill it cold unless your powders specifically say it's made for warm pill. To speed up the process as usual, I'm going to get my Cricut mat out of the way, and then I am simply going to flip this upside down on my granite countertop to speed up that cooling process. Moment of truth. I am so excited. You guys, let me know in the comments below. Do you guys think it's going to work or not? Okay, here we go. So we're gonna get a corner and peel. Oh my gosh, it actually worked. I am so mind blown right now. Look at it. It feels amazing and it looks so good. And look at how much color. Like there is nothing on here, just as if you were working with the film. Now you cannot reuse these as far as I would think. We could definitely put it to the test, but you have to remember it is pulling off. This has like a wax coating on it. And so I do feel like some of that wax is potentially gone, but these sheets are very affordable. I'm going to link you guys down below to the ones I use. Now these white ones, it's the same brand I do believe, so you can get it in the craft color or you can get it in the white. Highly recommend research. If you find a cheaper one than what I'm showing you, get whatever you can get. The ones I got from Temu, you guys remember that? Temu, you guys know I can't say it. I think those were smaller. They definitely were a little bit smaller than 8.5 by 11, maybe 8 by 11. So you can do smaller ones, but you could definitely buy it by the roll at your local grocery store. But I do recommend these sheets. You could cut these in half for your smaller printers, like the 8.5 by 11. This is a game changer. I am so pumped. Thank you to whoever tested this and confirmed and let me know that it worked from our subbies right here. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do. Check out how amazing this came out. It looks so good. Feels good. The colors look phenomenal. I highly recommend when it comes to this DTF hack, you're going to get amazing results whenever it comes to the Sublimation printer. So I want you guys to keep in mind, we have tested everything when it comes to the inkjet printer. We've used the pigment ink. So we have learned so much. I highly recommend if you have an inkjet printer or a pigment inkjet printer to check those out. Look at those results, hear my testimony, if you will, on those. But I will tell you, time and time again, my #1 recommendation for the DTF hack is the Sublimation printer. I have found the most success through wash after wash. So when I go to wash this, it is no different than a DTF transfer. This is 100% a DTF transfer. It feels like it and looks identical to it. It is like 100% a dupe. Now, keep in mind, there is a white toner DTF transfer that has that white background. That's a total different DTF printer. So it's a white toner. That's going to have that white background. So if you put it on darker garments and things like that, you're going to want to look into a white toner DTF printer. printer. But for something like this, you can still put it on colored t-shirts just as you would with sublimation. So follow those same steps, except for you can put it on cotton. It is so exciting. You guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you're gonna run and grab some parchment paper and test out this hack today. Can you guys believe that we got this information by traveling back to the 80s and testing out old vintage transfers? When I seen these on parchment, it immediately brought back flooding memories of them being on parchment paper like this. Now, I did start to question myself, so I thought, what if these are screen print transfers? Because I do believe you can do the exact same thing with screen print transfers. If you guys would like to see me showing you guys using your Cricut and a screen print and doing screen print transfers on parchment paper, let me know and we'll definitely show you how to do it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you guys have, please remember to hit that like button as well as comment down below. And if you guys are not already, make sure you guys join and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my crafting tutorials.